Hello, I think I'm live. Welcome everybody that is here today for the Harnessing the Inner Healer class. And it's been a while since I've been live, since I've been working in the clinic. I'm back today for the first day. And I'm super, super excited to be here with you because I've been working on this class for a while now. Let me have a little bit of air blend. A little bit nervous. Still get nervous even after many times of doing this. And first of all, because this class really comes from the bottom of my heart, it's steeped in gratitude because I had my own healing journey, as many of you know. Those of you who are new here to me, I'm Angela Chambers. I'm an acupuncturist and Chinese medicine practitioner. I'm talking to you here from my clinic in La Tour de Paix, Switzerland. It's between Lausanne and Montreux on the Lake Geneva, beautifully nestled, looking at the mountains here that still have the snow on them. And I've been doing this work now for soon 24 years. Actually, this year it's 24 years. And the work of Chinese medicine, the philosophy of Chinese medicine and Chinese thought has already fascinated me as a child. And so this has been a red thread throughout my whole life. And today, this class serves to share with you the principles that I've learned about self-healing, not just through the work that I'm doing, but also through my own experience. And I've realized that sharing the experience I had in the last few months has really opened up a connection with many of you, those of you who are here, those of you who follow me on Instagram, patients of mine, that sharing my own vulnerability and my own healing journey, even though it was not an easy thing for me to do, because when you work in this kind of profession, you're used to being the leader in health, to be always in top shape. And there is sometimes this feeling that a healer can't have their own problem, which obviously is a very stupid idea because it's just not realistic. And so once I realized that sharing my journey actually helps a lot of you, and I've gotten so much very beautiful feedback of human beings that have heard my journey and that have been able to use it for their own benefit. And this to me is really the best way to share the gratitude that I feel for my own health, and the realization that when you have your health, you have 1,000 dreams. When you don't, you just have one. And that is just, in my experience, how it is in this lifetime, in this body. So in this class, we're going to have a principle overview of how the qi, or the energy of the 5 elements, can help us to create a blueprint for ourselves to follow into a blueprint that has been given to us by nature. The 5 energies of transformation are the 5 seasons that we flow through throughout the year, especially here in the countries and in the side of the world where we have the 5 seasons, not only 4, it's actually 5 seasons. And they give us the perfect energetic blueprint that we can apply to our own life. And because my journey is my journey, it doesn't mean that what I've learned is also applicable to you, but the 5 qi are, because they are a blueprint that has been given to us. It's not my own, it's not yours, it's adaptable to every individual as they wish and as it fits into their journey. And this is what I want to give you a taste of today. This is not medical advice. I am sharing with you all the things, the tools and strategies that have worked for me tremendously, that really have given me, and I'm going to go into my story in a minute, have given me pretty much a new life. So I cannot keep this to myself. I've always been someone that if I love something, I find it mean to keep it to myself. So I really was looking forward to share this with you, and I've already planned it. The 2 days after my surgery, I was lying in the hospital bed and I was already starting to write down my own principles of self-healing for you, because it's also in my human design that going through my own path to do my experiences. I do them not just for myself, but also for the people that are in around me. So I am my own healer. This is one of the principles, probably the first one that I want to give you, because we're always looking for solutions and for answers and for direction outside of us. And the very first, very most important principle that I've learned is that the inner healer is inside. It's inside that your answers are, and it's inside that you really know what is the best for you. The difficult thing is that we don't always hear this voice, or we're confused, and we have so many different influences, especially today. We can listen, we can research, we can Google, and at the end of the day, we know many things, but we don't know which one is good for us. And so learning to connect and harness that connection to your own inner healer is probably one of the most profound things you can give yourself or gift yourself in this life. And so this has been my path since when I was 2 years old. I was diagnosed with a very rare disease, a viral disease that made it so that I had nodules growing on my voice boxes. The voice boxes sit inside the trachea, so every time they grew, I couldn't breathe anymore and had to do emergency surgery to open up so I could breathe again. And this issue lasted for about 5 years. So from 2 till 7, I was in and out of hospital. And that is what was the most profound experience for me in the regards of health, and realizing that without health, we have very little. And that is where my healing journey began. And then for the first time, I had to learn already as a little girl how to connect to that inner healer. And somehow I found a way. And with 7 years old, I had a spontaneous healing. The virus regressed. It's still in my system, but it didn't manifest itself anymore. And last year, or no, now it's 2.5 years ago, I had my first time this pain in my hip, where I kind of knew immediately something wasn't quite right. But with all the practices I do, I teach yoga, I practice a lot of qigong, I practice acupuncture, I do all of these things to take good care of myself. And so I continued to do that. I tried different things to help me, but over time the pain got worse and worse, and it got so bad that in the last year, there was no day or night where I was not in pain and trying to manage that pain, and at the same time go through the normal things of life, work, be inspiring for other people, be there for my children, make sure that my clinic runs smoothly, make sure that my online business continues. And so you often hear me speak about this, that you have 100, imagine you have 100 euros a day of energy available. And depending on how you spend it, this is the energy that you have available for yourself. It's a real economic of how you manage your money is how you manage your energy in a way. It's a very similar concept. And when I look at this in my situation, I probably spent daily 50 bucks minimum just to manage the pain. I had the other 50 bucks to live and live my life. And so by the end of last year, I realized I had to do something. And I'm going to explain you this journey as we go along, using the principles of the 5 elements, so that you understand how you can create this blueprint for yourself. So it's not just my story, just listening to what happened to me, because I don't even really like so much to talk about this, because this is one of the most important things that I don't. No, I will share the story with you so that you can profit from it as much as you can, and hopefully it helps something. So let's start with the water element. What is the water element in that journey of self-healing? Water element links to the winter time, to the deepest yin, the time when everything is a little bit frozen, everything under the earth is in restoration mode, just waiting for the light to come back. And so in this journey, in the idea of the 5 healing energies, for me, the water element was the moment when I had the realization that I couldn't continue this way, that I had to look the reality into the face and accept the fact that I could barely walk more than 600 meters without having to rest, without feeling so exhausted from it, just managing this pain that I had already seen specialists that all basically told me the same thing. You have a childhood dysplasia. So both hip joints were never really anchored in the hip joint from the beginning on. But on the left side, I had a very, very strong arthritis and I had no more cartilage. It was bone on bone, and even had some movement difficulties. So certain movements were impossible for me to do. And so for a long time, I just couldn't face that reality. I couldn't believe that this happened to me. And I felt all kinds of emotion facing this reality. But when I understood and when I realized that all I really could do is to accept where I was, to allow the reality of the gravity in one way of this situation to sink in, and to just look it straight into the face and make the decisions that I had to make. Because the decision was, do I wobble along like this in life, or do I accept that I have to have a complete left hip replacement? And when I went and saw the specialist and he explained it all to me, like I had tears running down my face, and even now I can feel the emotion inside of me, how difficult it was to just accept that I had to have a different part in my body. And we'll get on to the gratitude, because later that comes later. But in that moment, it was just facing the truth and allowing myself to surrender, to completely accept and surrender this situation as it was. My pain, my disability, the reality of that I was in a situation where I'm self-employed. I had to face the reality of not being able to work for a certain amount of time, of thinking that maybe nobody wants to come and see me here anymore in the clinic because I had this, or all kinds of things that the mind starts to create when you face your fears, when it's like bone on bone. You stand there and you just feel the fear of what's there in all of your body. But maybe it helps, as it helped me, to understand that that is the essence of the water element. It's accepting what is, accepting your lineage, accepting your DNA, accepting your story. And because this is the first moment where you can actually then start to move on. It also means that you become one with the flow of nature, with the reality of nature, with how things are. From a Chinese medicine perspective, and for example, what we study in the 5G course is how do we support the water element? What can we do to support the nervous system to be able to actually accept the situation? Because if the nervous system is too frail, if everything is super, super stressed, it's very difficult. We all know what it's like when you're stressed. Suddenly you don't even find your keys anymore, even though they're in front of your nose. A stressed nervous system makes you very single focused, and it's very difficult to see other solutions or possibilities. So for the water element, we learn how to strengthen the bones, how we strengthen the marrow, how do we strengthen the nervous system and allow it to be balanced between sympathetic and parasympathetic response, so that we actually have the possibility for enlightenment, and not enlightenment like a monk sitting on the mountain, but having enlightened moment just means you get what is best to do for you in the next moment. And so honing your intuition, becoming deeply, deeply connected and accepting with yourself. So for me, that meant I had to start, once I accepted the situation and I decided that I was going to do this operation, and I said yes to this, I decided to very much be aware of what I let into my ears. The ears are connected to the water element, to the kidneys, to the bones, to the bladder, to the central nervous system. And so I began to choose very wisely who I listened to, what I listened to, and what I let into my inner world. That was probably one of the most important things about that phase of the accepting and surrender, to choose wisely who and what I let in and choose the things I focused on. For example, I found myself many people that had done this operation and had a good result. And for some reason, interestingly enough, I mainly met people that had very great results, or was told stories about people that had really good results. It was only after the operation I heard about some where the result was not great. But I'm very grateful that through, in a way, my own focus, somehow Source, universe also brought this kind of information to me. Was it because I focused on that, or that is up for you to decide? But so the essence of the water element is this acceptance, and then from there we can move on. Also for the water element, one of the super tonics are the bone broth. The broth to drink the soups, bone soups that have been cooked for a long time with a little bit of apple cider vinegar, so that the calcium and the components of the bone really end up in the soup. And while you eat this, you really imagine how this is like a tonic that is tonifying your whole system and giving you strength and power from the inside out, and collagen. What comes after the winter time? What comes after this realization of, okay, this is where I am, this is what I'm facing? What comes after winter? We can just now feel this transition in the air, in the energy of slowly, slowly there's more light. Slowly, slowly there is a bit more warmth. Suddenly we see little sprouts coming from everywhere. And this is what grows out of the water element, is the wood element. The wood element represents the springtime, the expansive energy from being very condensed and very like low and deep and conserved, to slowly rising up and expanding into just like springtime. So this is why I'm saying you have constant reminders around you in nature. And it's beautiful because it means you will never forget these 5G. Once you've heard this, this is inside of you. And then we can explore further. There's lots more to explore. Today you get a taste. And for those of you who are in the 5G course, this is a reminder. So wood is when you start to become clear. You've accepted, and now you're starting to work with the solutions you have, with the possibilities you have. And for this, it's so, so important that you start to allow yourself now to dream about the outcome that you desire, the outcome that is possible for you, the path that your heart desires to take. And the liver and the gallbladder, they are part of the wood element, and they are the ones that are related to our vision, our inner vision, but also our outer vision and the eyes. And so the wood element is where when you have moments where your nervous system is relaxed enough to just daydream, to relax and sit back, and to allow the thoughts to come and go. And you just start to see what are these thoughts that are coming up, and you are observing yourself with an interest as if you were a small child, finding, like looking at a how do you see it? A big piece of grass with lots of different flowers growing, and children just observe. They don't yet judge. They just go and look and are excited about what they see. And this is the energy of the wood element, to allow yourself to discover what are the thought bubbles that come up, and what to do with those. We're going to talk shortly in the fire element. But to allow and project onto your inner screen. It's almost like you're creating a movie for yourself of how you want this to go. And for me, in my case, it was, I started to have messages from my own intuition about where to go next, which I had a interesting thought that I was wishing for someone to help me with this situation. And just about 1 or 2 weeks later, I met someone at a massage course who recommended a doctor to me that I ended up seeing, who helped me a lot with getting through the phase before the operation, and then also transferring me to the doctor I wanted. And these were thoughts that came up in these moments of allowing myself to just reflect and absorb the situation, and allowing myself to see again the possibilities, to not stay in the water element where I thought my life is over. If I have to limp along, I just thought I can't live like this in the long run. So I could really feel that I had two choices. One was to go down and to really feel depression kind of come over me, or the other one was to allow to project into a future that was possible for me, and to start to find different ways how I could manage the situation. So I found mentors, I found people that inspired me. I heard stories about people who did this operation and it went well and they had a much better life after. And all of this, I knew it was nourishing my wood element. It was nourishing my vision of what was possible in the future if I allowed this time to let my vision grow and flow. For the wood element to work like this, it needs to be in balance. So when the liver and the gallbladder are super stressed, it's very difficult to allow it to daydream, to just let the energy flow in. To even meditate is very difficult when your liver chi is tight and tense. It's not a very good condition to be able to dream freely and dream connected to your life path. So some of the things that are super, super important for the liver is that we take care of her on a daily basis. Our beautiful liver has so much to do. In the body itself, she's responsible for the free flow of energy, for storing the blood. She's related to menstruation, hormone regulation, and many things that are so important. At the same time, when she's stressed, it's very hard for her to be that minister of free flowing chi in the body. So when she's having to detoxify a lot, so if there's a lot of alcohol, meat, coffee, drugs, environmental toxins, a lot of chemical stuff that you put on your skin, hair and face, then you're already using her probably to the full capacity, and she may be completely stressed. So it's difficult to access her this way. So first we go through the body. We help her to cleanse on a daily basis. We make sure we drink that glass of warm water first thing in the morning with a bit of lemon. We drink the nettle teas. We take care of our liver chi by moving daily. And I'm not talking about sporting activity necessarily, even though, of course, if you enjoy that, you can do that. But I'm talking about helping the body to have free flowing chi. This I teach also in the 5 Chi course. We have different movement practices for each element. And for the liver, it's very good to open the sides of the body, to open the fascia, to open the tissue so that your cells feel like there is more space to flow. There's more free flowing chi. And this will relax you in a way that you then have the capacity to dream again. Movement practice, yeah, that's all things very, very important for the liver. Mindset cultivation is also something that I've put into the wood element, to cultivate how you let your thoughts flow. There is free-flowing thoughts, but there is also a certain discipline in choosing the way you're thinking. And there is a lot you can do for that, from different yoga nidras to practices that you can do to help your mind to focus better and to go into the direction that you want to. But just by taking care of the liver, this will facilitate this whole process incredibly. And one super, super simple thing I'll show it to you right now for the liver chi is simply what also the Shaolin monks do, is the shaking, where you several times a day you shake out the body, especially if you feel that there's a lot of tension in the upper body, shoulders, neck, and to take these moments to check in, shake, feel the body, feel how she's doing, and then you move along with your day. And these little things, it's meant to be simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. It should be that you can just introduce it into your life and follow along in a way that it becomes your way of doing it. So this is our beautiful wood element. From the wood, what comes next? 5G people, it's the summertime, so it's the fire element. It's the element of the heart and the small intestine, pericardium and sunjiao. So this one has 4 different meridians, but the main ones are the heart and the small intestine. And from accepting to allowing ourselves to dream again that there is a solution for us in the wood, to the fire. And what is the fire in this process? The fire is that which gives you the spark, the passion to actually do what you need to do for yourself. This is what, for me, the fire element has done in a massive way. It's igniting that spark in your heart. And so, as I was allowing myself to dream and visualize that I could possibly do Tai Chi again, that I can walk like a queen, not this limping, terrible thing that I was doing before. And this was giving my heart these little moments of, maybe it's possible, and visualizing more and more of where I wanted to go and what I wanted to be able to do again. And it became stronger and stronger in my heart, this fire burning for me, for my life, that I could, because I already have this fire a lot in my heart for the work I do, for what I'm sharing with people and what I can do as a healer here in my clinic. And so I allowed this fire to move over to my own health now, to activate the thoughts, because a thought is just a thought. We can have millions of thoughts, thinking all day long, thinking, but if there's no action, if there's no spark that gets the thing going, it's kind of flowing energy, but that's it. We want it to become material. And for that, the first thing we do is see which thoughts have that little spark in you, which ones make your heart just go, yes, I want that so much. And so this is the passion of becoming who you are, of walking your life path with your heart intact, with your heart open, and with your heart giving you feedback at all times, all the time, of your intuition speaking to you, and that spark which shows you at all times what is your next step, what is the direction that you need to go in next. For the heart, the emotion of the heart is joy, is that truly felt joy in the heart. And one of the ways also that we can feel this is when we have people around us that are creating that spark, or that ignite this spark also within us, where we feel we have a heart connection. We can express ourselves from the heart. We can be ourselves and they can be themselves. And these kind of connections, these heartfelt connections, are very, very beneficial for the fire element. You may have felt this before yourself, that when you spend time with people that inspire you, that expand you, that you admire, without feeling that they're any better or worse than you, but to realize we are all little human beings running around here on planet Earth. We're like little batteries. We have the earth yin energy, the negative pole, and we have the positive pole above of the sky, of the yang qi. And these are circulating through our body at all times. And the better this qi can flow freely, the more better we will feel in our body. And so the heart chi, when it's activated by joy and laughter, it is very beneficial for our heart mind, because the Shen, the heart mind in Chinese medicine, is one with our heart here in the chest. And so let's do this practice together that I've done a couple of reels about. And it's a practice that I love so dearly because it really changed my life. And I felt so ridiculous at the beginning. When I first learned it from the spiritual teacher, Matt Kahn, he was the first one who really showed this to me many years ago. And since then, I've done this. And now it feels completely real. I don't find it embarrassing anymore. I don't find it strange anymore. Now I do it and my cells believe me. And so even if it feels still a little bit strange for you at the moment, trust the process and know that your nervous system feels your touch, your nervous system hears your words, and you are talking with you. So let's do this one for a moment. So bring your hand to the heart. Take a moment to connect with yourself. Just take a big breath. And when you exhale, drop the shoulders. Check that your neck is at ease. Sit kind of straight so the spine is elevated and the energy can flow through the spinal canal. And with your hand on the heart, listen first, and then you can say it out loud for yourself. I love you. I love you so much. I'm here for you. I'm with you. And I'm going to do anything I can to let you feel that on a daily basis. I love you. And this is so simple. This is so profound, and it's free. You can do it anytime you want to, and just feel the difference in your body after connecting to your heart, after connecting to your spirit, and give it the honor and the respect it deserves. Because to harness your inner healer, this connection is everything. If this connection for you feels, from all the 5 that we go through, if this one is the one that you feel the most challenge with, do it the most. In the 5G, we do lots of other practices and we understand the fire element better and better, so that you have lots of different tools to use to activate the heart, to harmonize the heart Shen, and to be in touch with your fire element on a daily basis. So let's move to the next season. What comes after the season of this massive expansion? Fire element, I mean, here in the Northern Hemisphere, it's hot in summer. People want to be outside. The energy is very expansive. Now, when the earth element comes, this is the late summer season. It's the season where there is abundance of everything. Fruit are falling off the tree because the tree is so full. It falls back down to the earth and then becomes compost for the earth when it's not picked. The late summer season is that beautiful time of, it's hot, but not anymore like it was in the peak of summer. It's the earth season is the one where, in the ancient way of looking at the 5 elements, the earth element used to be in the center and the 4 others around in the directions of the different directions. It only later on it became 5 in a row like this. And really what it means is that the earth element needs to be tonified again and again, not just in that season, but after every season we move back to the earth element to strengthen it, because the earth is radical self-nourishment, radical centering, coming back to your own center again and again, to ground through your feet and connect to the Mother Earth, to the energy of the earth, because that is not some kind of beautiful thought. It's total reality. It's scientific reality that Earth grounding after being barefoot for an hour on a natural surface, or walking in the forest or on the grass, you can change your electromagnetic field of the whole body. So never underestimate the power of the earth element, of nourishing yourself with food, with supplements, with qi practices, if that is qigong, if that is zhang, the standing practice, if that is anything that helps you to center for yourself, to come back to who you are, and to materialize the self-love that we practice in the fire element now becomes real. And that is by practicing it. Earth element is already much more material energy than, for example, wood or fire. Now in the earth, it's becoming real. It's material, and the material you can nourish with the food. For me, for my journey, I made sure that my bones were strong already way before this operation. I started to use things like bone broth, Chinese herbal medicine to strengthen the jing, to strengthen my kidneys, to strengthen the bones. What I loved for that also are the medicinal mushrooms. So I've been taking reishi mushroom it's very important you take it from a good source, and also that the mushroom component is high enough. So a pure, well-dosed mushroom supplement. I use Complimedis here in Switzerland. Depending on where you are, in Australia, there's Super Feast. And so there's different places you can get it from. But it has to be a good quality, because if you want to build your material body, you want to do that with the best ingredients that you can get. Same with the food. It's better to eat less, but top quality, than masses of crap, obviously. So the reishi supplements really helped me. Closer to the operation, I also started with shilajit, which is an Ayurvedic remedy with a ton of minerals in it, vitamin C, fulvic acid, to again strengthen my bones, have enough minerals to sleep well, to tonify myself already before this operation. Because luckily, if you have an accident, obviously you don't know in advance. But with this, as it was an elective surgery, I had time to prepare myself for this. And I did. I really did. And I did not miss one day of eating well, of supplementing, of trying my best to get to bed before midnight, to accumulate good sleep and make sure that I slept deeply and profoundly, using whatever tools I could to make that happen. And the other practice that for me, represents the earth element is the Zhang. Zhang is the standing practice, where some people call it standing meditation, some people call it hugging a tree, because it may look like this. It's a very profound Qigong practice that is underlying most of the martial arts practices. And it's interesting, this philosophy of standing to build the power, standing still to build power. And so this practice I was able to do even with the hip pain. It was probably one of the things that relieved it the most, because in the Zhang, as you're connecting to the earth below, but at the same time you're standing, you have to visualize. So you're actually working a lot inside your mind. You're not just standing. It's not just standing and going la 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 la, but it's a lot of internal work where you are visualizing. And so the body does certain things. And I could feel in my own body the strength I was building through this practice. And it's such a beautiful earth strengthening one. The other food that I love for the earth element is natto. If you don't know it, look it up. I've made some reels about it. It's a fermented soybean condiment that I found very, very powerful to strengthen the earth element and also the water. There's so much more to tell you, but if I want to get through this 5 with you. So if you feel, and this speaks to you, this kind of information, then join us in the 5G, because the wood call is coming up. You join the course, you have 5 live calls in the course, and all the ground material is there for you for lifetime. To the calls you have access for 1 year, and each year I've learned something new about the elements. I've deepened them inside of me even more. And so every year I share the 5 live calls for each element, and we go deep into each one. We talk about the meridians and the element itself, and how to strengthen those systems in the body so that your energy flow is smooth and beautiful. Now, after Earth, after this beautiful late summer season, most of us know what it feels like when suddenly one morning you get up and there's a little bit of different temperature, there's a little bit of a different energy in the air, and we can feel, oh, it's time of the metal element. It's the time where suddenly the air gets a little bit clearer, a little bit more cutting. It's not this relaxed depth of the earth element, but it's becoming, we know now things are over. And I think that is one of the things of the metal element, the energy of clarity, of, again, checking now what you've created for yourself, your own healing journey, your path in life. And the metal element is the one that gives you the opportunity to do a little reality check, to check in with yourself if you're actually listening, if you have gone off path or if you're still on your path. It is the metal element is the one. The energy of metal obviously has something cutting, is the opportunity to cut away that which doesn't serve us, to spend our $100 of chi for what we want. And we can only do that by saying no to certain things. And that is the metal element. If I say no to this project, then I'm actually saying yes to this other one. By saying no to the things that are holding you back, to the fears that you want to let go of, to the human beings that may still be in your life that are not bringing you peace and joy, where you can feel you're losing a lot of energy. It may be time to create a little bit of a separation or cut your energy flowing into this direction, because now, especially if you're on a healing journey, you need that energy for you. You don't have money to go, here's a bit, here's a bit, here's a bit, and then be surprised if your healing journey is not working. This is where self-discipline and self-mastery comes in, to decide what you want and to go where you need to go. There is no space anymore to be a victim of your situation. For me, it was accepting that, yes, I can have a father who is an orthopedic surgeon, but no one realized when I was a kid that I had a dysplasia, that the hip joint were already not in a good position. I could spend time crying about the fact that this happened to me, and why me, even though I'm such a good person and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, why me? There, the reality check for me was, look, this is how it is. Instead of paying $20 of chi to the victim in me, I much prefer to use these $20 to pay it towards creating my future. For example, also, I made sure that I was super organized for this event, for this operation. I prepared everything for my future self. Through this practice of loving me, I realized that I'm in it for me. No one is going to organize these things for me as if I do it. And so I made sure that I could stay a few days in the hospital, for example. I made sure that after the hospital, I organized a place to go where I could rest and recover. I had my dog organized. I had people around me helping me. And organizing all of that helped me to feel very connected to myself, because I felt I took myself seriously. If I hadn't organized these things and I had come home after 2 days and there's my dog, there's the household, there is this, that. It's just not possible. So I knew, even though it was not convenient, it wasn't like it was fun to say, okay, I can't work now for 4 to 6 weeks. There's no income in this time. There was many things that scared me, but I still knew if I'm not good after, none of these things are going to work again. So it was super clear to me. I had to make very clear decision, be honest with myself about the things that I had to remove from my life. Some people in my life I could feel were draining my energy, were not helping me on this journey. And so even there, I had to let go of some people, of situations where I could realize, no, this chi I need for me. I need for this healing journey so that I come out of it at the end back so I can live my life in a way to continue to inspire people. If I don't have enough chi, there is no point. So this helped me with the rest of what I've explained to you about the other 4 elements to really go, okay, this yes, this no, yes, I need this, and one thing after the other. And it's not something that comes supernatural to me. I'm not the most organized person by nature. I had to take a little bit of discipline to do this. And to, again, the mindset I had, it's not only in the wood element, but also in the metal element, because this relentless practice of choosing what I let into my consciousness was of utmost importance to me in this time. So to choose what I listen, what I watch, who I spend time with, and that I had enough time to check in with me regularly, to feel how I was, to give myself enough rest, to give myself the love I deserved in this time, because I was really suffering. There was days where I thought, I don't know how I can manage this. And by the end of it, I was so glad that there was the possibility of operation. Whereas, a year ago, for me, it was like the nightmare number one. Had I've been able to transform it now through this mindset work and through working with my chi, that I realized this is a great chance that there is an operation that can help me. And now all I need to do is focus into the direction that I want to go. And there I was relentless. I wanted this. I wanted to walk again. I wanted to practice again. I wanted to do what I do. And so it became like a single-minded focus for this time. So it became easy to eat well. It became much easier to, easy doesn't mean that it was easy every day. It took a lot of strength. I had many days where I didn't manage, but instead of whining about it, I just decided to not lose any time giving myself crap for falling off the wagon, but instead using this energy to quickly come back and just go on. And then came the day where I took the train to, on the 6th of February, I took the train to Zurich to go to the hospital. And I never forget this day, because I made this video I made a reel for Instagram, because in that moment I realized, okay, I'm going to share this journey. Even though inside I was like, do I really have to? Can I not just disappear for 2 months and then come back? I was like, no, this is part of the whole journey. And so I told you this story about the tunnel, how I was entering this tunnel knowing it will be dark, it will be difficult, it will be uncomfortable, but there also will be light at the end of the tunnel. No tunnel lasts forever. And if it does, and we're in the other life or we're back at source, then also there is light. So I knew there was going to be light on the other side of the tunnel. And I just surrendered. I had tears falling down my face, walking into the clinic. When they gave me the anesthetic, I was still crying, and I asked them if they could just hold my hand for this moment. And then I just let go, even though I heard the hammering in the operating theater, I heard the hammering and the sewing, and I knew that I didn't know what they were going to do with me, but I knew that it wasn't beautiful at all. but to be able to just let go in this moment and surrender and to let God. It was all I could do. And I feel that it helped me so much to be less tense and to trust the journey. And today I'm here. Yesterday it was 5 weeks. I can walk again. I can actually walk so good that I feel like I don't want to stop anymore. And I'm walking every day. I don't have the crutches anymore. I don't need painkillers anymore. And the gratitude that is flowing through my body, especially the first 5 days after this operation, I had a constant flow of light and gratitude going through my cells. And I could feel how it was healing me. It was healing me. And I trusted this flow of energy in my body. And I knew that it was going to be okay. And I continued with my practices. I continued, for example, I used the oils a lot, like an hour or two after operation. I started to use them far around the scar, but still. And I never had any blues. They said they were surprised that there was no blue marks after this operation. I used the deep blue on the muscles that they had to tear open to replace the hip joint. I used my supplements pretty much today. Like the first 2 days after, with all the medications, I felt sick a lot, so I couldn't eat very well, and I felt a little bit weak. But as soon as my blood pressure was starting to come back up, there I used, for example, different oils and acupressure to support myself. And then as I could eat again, I started to add the supplements in as almost like food. They were just supplementing the food I was already taking. And every time I ate food, I imagined how it would become me. It would become my skin, my bones, my everything. And an immense gratitude kept circulating through my body until today. When I'm walking around, every step, I'm like, thank you so much. And this is why I'm here today. And I really hope that these 5 principles of self-healing, of activating your inner healer, because it's inside of you, we can get inspiration, we can get expanded by the people around us, by our mentors, by our teachers. But at the end of the day, the only real source of information comes from your inside. And so the more we hear it, that's all. We just need to hear it. And once you do, you realize how incredibly powerful this connection is and how much it can give you and how worth it is to cultivate these principles for yourself. So I hope this was useful for you. Let me just have a look if there's any questions. I see Deb. Hello, Deb. Yeah, bone on bone. It's not fun, isn't it? Angela says she's treating her liver with TCM and you're noticing a big difference. That's so beautiful. I'm happy. Yeah, for the liver, for the whole body. TCM is a beautiful medicine because it's not only preventative, but it's curative. It gives you an understanding of your health so that you become your own healer. It's that what I love so much about it. Yes, keep loving yourself. This is the one and only. What I would recommend as a supplement for sleeping problems. See, the thing is, in Chinese medicine, we don't diagnose this as a sleeping problem. I would have to see you and speak to you about your symptoms and signs. And this is something I do in the one-on-one consultations. I have one-off consultation, or I have the mentorship, where I work with people over a 3-month period, where we have 6 calls, where we analyze together your energetic blueprint, your energetic combination, and figure out the things that you can do for your own elements. So I can't tell you do this for sleep problems, because that would be very not Chinese medicine like. I'm so happy it resonates with you, because it's true. Self-healing is an incredibly empowering mindset, in a way that when you start to really accept that you have your health in your hands, there is Of course, there's a genetic side. Of course, there's life. But you are co-creating your health. You have a great influence of your health. And that, to know that, is already so cool. Thank you so much. And so thank you so much that you've been here. I really appreciate your presence here. And I'm happy if this can give you, if it gives you anything, I've done my job here, and I'm so, so grateful. Now, you have the PDF, so you have some of the layout of today. This will stay up as a recording for a while, so you have time to watch it again if you want to. If you feel like giving me some feedback, you can tag me on Instagram at Alpine Angel. If you enjoy this information and you want to go deeper, join me in the 5G. We're starting in a couple of weeks with the first live call of this season. Or if you want to work with me in person, I take about 2 to 3 clients every 3 months where I do the mentorship. So, and if this was already enough for you, wonderful. Take good care of yourself, love yourself, and I wish you a beautiful day from my heart to yours. All the best, and mwah, lovely to meet you here. See you on Instagram maybe, or in the 5G.